Mr. Andre!
Good morning.
Guten Morgen, Hugen!
How are you?
I told you I could speak Dutch. Guten Morgen, Hugen!
Say that again.
Guten Morgen, Hugen Lugen!
That's perfect. Fluent Dutch. Because I'm Afrikaans, so you know.
Oh, you are, yeah. I'll get some. Did I ever tell you about my mate? Well, I knew a couple of lads from South Africa in the army, and one of them has a farm. Jacko Fraser, he's called. He's fucking mental, proper racist. He is proper racist. Like,
if it's from a farm area, then
and what you say?
And to be fair, they have the reasons.
Yeah. Oh, I get it. Like, he was telling me some of the stories, like people going onto his farm trying to rob his house and that. It's mental. But he does all the, you know, like shooting lions and all the hunting expeditions.
Oh, does he do the canned lion hunting?
Yeah, he does all that. I know. He's off it like. Yeah, he stood there with like big massive snakes and big massive like, I don't know, beasts. There's one where he shot a lion, and it's just like he doesn't give a shit. He's a nice guy, like.
Yeah.
But it's just different world, isn't it? It's just different world.
It is so different.
He's off it. He's off. Jacko Fraser, he's called. Okay. I'm absolutely gutted about the wing back yesterday. Just missed us.
That was so close.
But we can have a look today. Did you have anything else yesterday?
Playing around with that AI thing.
Oh,
Quite interesting.
It's my mic on. Mic's on. Let me get the tunage on. We're on.
So Nella back in the chats.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
It's better. Yeah, she's been busy or something, hasn't she?
Yeah. Is she an accountant or something? Because she wrote me a while back. She's busy with tax season, and then replied yesterday. After I asked her how's it going, and then she said finally done all the taxes now, and her personal tax was the last one she did. And the only thing she had time for is to join a bit of that Tom the Trader's streams in the mornings.
Yeah.
And it seems quite positive for her. She's seeing a lot of things now and applying it, I think, to some of the things that we're doing. And then I saw she wrote in in our chat in the group about the Tokyo Gold.
Oh yeah.
Was it 3 days a week where you can do the 1, 2, 3 risk reward trades?
Yeah.
Quite interesting. I haven't really looked at that or tested that or anything. And
no, it's sometimes people just get busy.
Yeah.
Life gets in the way. It's what it is.
Life.
Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah, I was watching price come. It was so slow yesterday though. It was so slow the way it was moving. I wasn't sure whether it was going to get down well. So let's have a look. So we'll go straight on to NAS here. We'll do it top down on NAS. Okay, so well, the top down's pretty the same really. So in regards to how everything's closed, so we know the monthly's closed. We don't know if it's closed respecting or it's broke back into the zone yet. Unfortunately, we won't know until the next candle closes. Let me turn this heating off now. However, even if we do flip back to the downside, we should still end up with a top and bottom wick. And the top and bottom wick, we know this top wick can come as high as 26.92 because that's what's happened in previously. And we know a bottom wick can come as low as 18.255 because that's what happened previously. So then we've got to look at the previous candle and go, okay, well, what did that do? Well, we know that that previous candle broke a significant low, so it's grabbed loads of liquidity. So therefore, this doesn't need much of a bottom wick if price wants to drive up. So, and that was our chain of thought yesterday's off the weekly. Could we get that wing back for the weekly to flip to the upside because the weekly's broke out? So if we go down to the weekly now, the weekly has flipped. The weekly's broke out and currently in this range. And it's a case of we've had our bottom wick now, and we were trying to grab the wing back buy from yesterday, but it's just missed us by a few pips. Now, is this weekly starting to flip to the upside? Now, if you remember from yesterday's stream when I said, technically, you could just have a buy stop the other side of the weekly if you wanted. But because these are weekly time frames, really, you know, or you're thinking the weekly's going to flip, you could just grab a lower time frame trade and have a better entry. It's completely up to yourself, but this weekly should flip really. If it doesn't flip, then I can imagine this closing bearish still in this zone, unless this whole move is a fake out, and that's something we can't preempt. But if we do close like that and we're still respecting this level, technically we're still in this range, therefore we should still be coming up with the next candle. So yeah, it just so happened we just missed our wing back from you. I mean, that would have been a fantastic entry if it tapped us yesterday. But also remember what I said yesterday is there is an area around here where you can reject from, and that's what looks like it's happening. So if I go down to the daily now, so we had, what's that area about? To be honest, I still think we're going to come down. Because if you look at these, it takes about 3 days to get down to the second entry. But still you don't get tapped until the third day. And if we're saying we're on this, or even if we're on this, get a bullish close and then we drop. But we feel we are on this level, don't we? This is the area we're sort of thinking where we're at. And what happens on this is we get a bearish close. We didn't tap. We tapped on this one, but we didn't tap. Then you get a bullish close and then you come back down. So what could we do for me then? It really didn't help us not getting tapped. So if we say this daily, the previous daily is closed respecting, yeah, which it looks like it has. So we'll say this daily is closed respecting, and all these closed respecting, as you can see. Disregard this one. So if we close respecting, technically we should get a bullish close on this daily. Now if we get a bullish close on this daily today, bottom wick, we could grab wing back buys from around this level at 19.723. So for example, if we're going to get something similar to this, we're going to get that bullish close, and then look, the next daily comes back down. Still doesn't tap our zone, but we could adjust the wing back at that point. doesn't really help that. The 6 hour bullish close. Which was a fake out technically. If you look at the fake out there, you had a 6 hour close below this, and then he just comes straight back into the range. Is this daily going to flip? So we've got a bit of contradiction going on. So we're expecting the weekly to flip to the upside. The daily has closed respecting, but for me to take buys, I'd want a bullish close on the daily. And are we going to get it? Because here's the thing, right? If this daily is going to close bullish, how big is it going to close? We don't know. It's already done. It's already done quite a lot. And then it's pulled back. So where's this going to close? It could close small doji. And if that's the case, it means we're not going to move much today. We're just going to mess about in this range. We're going to mess about in between this and this, if we are going to close bullish. Therefore, we've only got this to play with today, which doesn't really help us. 6 hour bullish. I really don't like it, guys. I won't lie. I've always got no top wick or bottom wick. Create that bottom wick on the 4. What's the 3 done? 3's closed respecting. And then we've got a small bearish. I'm not really liking it, I won't lie. I think I'd want a daily bullish close now. If we get a daily bullish close, what I would want then is a bottom wick, and we can look at wingback buys from 19735 or go off the flip to the upside. But I can't do anything till this daily closes, because I don't think we're going to move that much. So currently this wingback is not on now. Nothing's on until we're going to keep the red line there to mark up our stops to help us out. I think we might mess about for a couple of days here like this. Because look, if you think 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 days, and then we set off to the upside. 6 days. This is the first time we've been back at this level. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 before we set off. The only way I could grab a trade really is if we sort of broke. What he sort of done it really. I'll give you a fake out. What a shame. Yeah, I mean, you've got a fair value gap here to come and fill all this, but how would you get in? If I could get maybe a break of some highs again, and then I'd look at a closure, but I'd need a break of the highs before. So for example, let's say we've got an hour, let's put the Meraki on and see what that brings up. But there is a zone here now. So let's say if we got a break of a high, right? So what I mean by that is if we maybe break this high. Okay, so if we break a high, and then, and only then, we could look at sells below this off the 1 hour. And if we do break this low, you're pretty confident at that point you're going to be pushing through. But you might not push through to there, it might be to here. And the reason being is because, remember I told you about the daily? So the daily candle currently looks like this. Daily candle's done its top wick and it's pulled back. That's currently what we look like on the daily. That. So what we're expecting on the daily is we're expecting the daily just to mess about today, because before the drive up we need a bullish close, but I don't know where this daily is going to close. Is it going to close big bullish? Is it going to close small bullish? But if the previous daily has closed respecting support, which we're expecting we think it has, then we should get a bullish close today. But it's probably going to be doji, and if it's going to be doji, that means we've only got this area, well, where we're at now, and sort of around these levels to play with. So we could take sells. See, that's the only option we've got today. But I'd need a break of the highs first, just to rule out us creating a steeper top wick, because we might want a steeper top wick off the daily. So I need to rule that out. And the way we rule that out is we wait for price to create a high and break a high. So there's our high. If we break that to the upside, if price wants to create a steeper top wick, it shouldn't come back down and break the low. It should carry on. So that would take the risk off the table. So I need a break of the high. And then, and only then, there'll be sellers below here. But here's the thing. Your target's only this. That's my only target. So very difficult today. It's such a shame because it's second day live streaming and it just hasn't been a setup. Unfortunately, that's trading. That's just the way it is.
Well, there's been a setup. We just missed this. Like,
yeah, there was a setup yesterday, and we did just miss it, I suppose. It literally, I mean, how many pips away was it? Oh, it was here, wasn't it? It was like there. I mean, it would have been a lovely trade, that, wouldn't it? Oh, there, wasn't it? Little sausages. So, anyway, yeah. So that's all I've got really, Andre, on that. Yeah, I think we have to wait for the daily to close, which is not too bad because I'm not on long this morning anyway. So I'd rather it happen today, and then I'm on a lot longer tomorrow on Friday. So that's ideal. So we'll just wait for this daily to close, see what this daily does, or if the ones come up, break the high. But it's got to break the high for me, and then you could have sells below here. But you're going to have to go, well, that would be your full TP, this. That's all you'd be after. But you could just put your stops off the one. So for example, if we seen something like this, and here's the thing, it might not happen in London, but if we see something like this, we broke a high now, so there's the high broke. Yeah, and let's say we get a doji, bearish doji, something like this. It could be in any way, shape or form, but it's where price comes up. It could even just wick up, and then if we say we got an hour close below, you wouldn't need much of a top wick. But what I would probably do, I'd just probably go off, as long as this one's got a bottom wick as well, which is key. I'd just wait for a little pullback, only tapping previous support. That's all you would need really. Tap previous support, then sell stops underneath. My stops would be the 1 hour previous high, and this was like the start of Meraki really. That's where I would put my stops off the 1 hour, and then obviously flip to the downside, and you should be coming through pretty fast. So what I'm looking at is I'm looking at this. I'm looking at this. I know this came straight through, but what this is showing you, it's quite clean traffic down. And this one, you had your 1 hour break. Still played out in the end, even though you had a bullish close back in. Still played out. But that's the only setup for me. That's my only setup I would potentially take today. That's what I would want to see, all of that. But it's probably not going to happen until New York. All right, so let's have a look at. Happy with Nas. Let's have a look at gold, because we did typical. Okay. So if you can remember from yesterday, we had buys above 3,350. It's done exactly what we missed out on last time. So we had buys back above here. The daily had pushed too much, and then the new daily again opened up, not much of a bottom wick, and just carried on pushing. So a bit of a pain in the backside really, because it's done exactly the same again. There's the low, there's the break, there's the fake out. New daily opened up, no bottom wick, and pushed. That can give us a chance to get in. So we did have a chance from yesterday. What we wanted to see is we wanted this daily to close something like that. Not too far, less than 50% of the range. That's my cutoff. So this is the range here. And you need price to close less than 50. If it's over 50, I tend not to take it. Because there's not much of a gap. If it's over 50, let's say it's like that, and then you've only got this on this to play with, and unfortunately it's not, you know. So we were expecting a daily close like this, and then we were going to wait for a bottom wick, and then a flip to the upside to fill the rest of the range. But the issue we've got is we've now, the daily completely filled the range. And the issue with this daily is, did this break out? Did it close respecting? It's not a confident breakout for me, that now. So I probably wouldn't even be looking at buys above yet. I think I would need another daily close above to take buys above. So gold is just, again, being a bitch. That's right, being a bitch. What we could look at though at the end of this week is, if the weekly closes like this, we could bottom wick and just go off the weekly. That's something what we could look at, but we would have to wait for the weekly to close. But at the moment, guys, gold is not looking too good for us. So yeah, that's me top down on gold. Nothing really going on at the moment. Just don't know if this is broke out or not. Alright, on gold, Andre. Let's have a look at oil then. Let's see what's going on oil, because oil is looking better and better every day. Okay, so what we want to see on oil, let me zoom out. So this is what I've got going on oil. Okay, so oil's more of a swing trading pair for me. Well, it is a swing trading pair for me. So the monthly, it closed and broke out. And if we look at all the areas where the monthly it broke out in these areas, what happens to price next? So we've never really had a clean break there apart from these here. And if I actually put a zone on that, so let's say up there, yeah, so all close respecting this level. Look what our monthly done, close respecting that level. What happened to price after that? So price after that, close respecting, start making our way back up to at least 67.3. Yeah. This one, close respecting, came up to there, and then dropped for another drop, and comes back up again to 67.7, and then obviously carried on driving up. Okay, so how do we get in on that? Now that's just the areas it's close respecting. All the other times I've sort of drove, when we drive down, we just really drive down. You don't really get that nice little break below. You just drive down. I mean, the closest one what's broke below is here. This one. You had another break there. You had another break there. You had another break there. So every time we break below there, we break quite confidently, and then we get this big drive down. We didn't really get that with close respecting. So I'm not really sure whether we're going to get that drive down. Now, if we do get that drive down, we have got a plan in place to catch it if we do. Because if this weekly does flip to the downside, we're going to be pushing to at least these levels. At least these levels, 44.98. Yeah, so that's where we'll be pushing to in the next range. So we could grab it, but what would I want to see before this weekly flips? I'd want to see a top wick to tap previous support. So that's why we've got, if this weekly can pull back to this level, I'd ideally prefer up here, right? Because that is technically previous support. This is previous support in and around these levels. So I would prefer that. However, you could get away with this as well. And the reason why I say we could get away with a tap of this is because when we drive down here, we don't get much of a top wick. So that tells me that if we're going to drive down, if this is going to flip, it's not going to create much of a top wick. So I'm not sure where that price is going to come all the way up to that area where I would really like to see it. Okay, so then I've got to decide, well, is it worth the risk? Well, it is worth the risk. It's quite clean traffic all the way down. So my plan, if price comes up and taps these levels, I could simply get either sell stops underneath, or we go down to a lower time frame and we take a daily close below, and then we take that. Okay, it's completely up to yourself which way you do it. Either way, you should be coming through. So that is the that's a monthly candle, sorry. Weekly's the same. So if price comes up to that level, then you're expecting the monthly to flip to the downside and then obviously drive down. The weeklies, it's the same scenario. So again, you're waiting for this weekly. Is this weekly going to flip? If it does, tap previous support and then flip to the downside to come up. If we look left, exactly the same. They just drive straight through. And you don't have much of a top wick, so it's exactly the same. So that's how we're going to catch that, is if we tap this zone, we can simply get a sell stop off the weekly to the downside. I'm not sure it's going to get tapped though, but if it does flip, then we could look at that. We're on Wednesday today, so that means we've only got 2 days. So for this to flip, we would need to look, maybe this one comes up, taps it, closes bullish. You'd need to have something like that off the dailies in order to flip to the downside on the weekly. So pretty big daily candles. And then if we look left, could we get that? I believe we could. 1, 2, yeah, we could. This is exactly where our price is now. 1, 2. So yeah, we could easily get that. But I want that zone tapped first. Okay, so that's to the downside. That's to grab trades to the downside. Okay, now to the upside of the weekly, I actually think if actually I'll go back to the monthly. So we've got 2 ways to go, up or down, obviously, right? Now if this is the move down, then that's our ambush is set to catch it. We'll wait for the weekly top wick and then we'll get sell stops underneath off the weekly, right? However, what if this is just a fake out to the downside below all these zones in order to come back up to break out of this wedge? So there is a wedge here. We've got that's what we call a wedge, okay? And what tends to happen with wedges is you can break out, retest, and then carry on to the upside. And that's what I'm planning on happening. Is I think this could just be the liquidity grab in order to come back up, come into this wedge, but now you've got the liquidity to change direction, come back up. So if that's the other option, what could happen to price on this? How do we then get in on it? How can we capture it? So we plan to catch it is fairly straightforward, really. Is if the daily, if we come down, if the daily, well, if price is going to do that, where we are, this area, wasn't it? If price is going to do that, then on the, this is the monthly time frame. So look at these monthly time frames. Yeah, close respect. And where did the next monthly go? So the highest the monthly went is here. That's the highest it went. Therefore, this monthly could go as high as 63.35. So, did move this down, didn't I? So, could we not just take a daily above this, and we know we're going to tap 63.72? That's where the monthly goes. The other monthlies have closed here, no bottom wick, and just drove. Fantastic. This monthly closed here, and then look what happened next. Bottom wick. So, does that mean we then need to adjust stops to come to the downside? Well, it does, because if this monthly closes like this, that means we would have had a daily close above that area. And if we've got that daily close above that area, we would then get in on this daily, unless we don't get activated. But let's say we did get activated, then look what the next monthly done. Came down. Now it might have went up first at our area. We would have been risk free. But if it didn't, it means we would have to adjust stops below this low. So that's what we'll probably look at. However, the target for this to the upside is really high. So I'm looking all the way up to, oh no, these are monthlies, sorry. I'm looking all the way up to 106 levels. I'm expecting price to come. If this is the fake out, I'm expecting this. Up to 106 levels. So at that point, you'd be in here. Stops would be here. That's probably what I'd be looking at now. Okay. So, that's what we've got going on. If we can get a daily closure above this, we'd be looking to get in. Especially if the weekly closes above there, fantastic, because then this whole move would be a fake out, and there's only one place to go, and that's to break this high. Okay. So if we can get a weekly close above there like that, fantastic. Then we've had a fake out coming to break the high at least, or we can take the daily, because what I'm saying is if the daily happens, let's say this daily does this, we could take that still, because that's a sign of the weekly potentially faking out but pushing and breaking a high. I'll get something like that. So that's what I'd be after really. So daily buys above 61.32 to catch the move up. You've got to go risk free here though, that's a thing, because we know the monthly can reject from here. So you'd have to go risk free there. Why is this here? So yeah, that's all I've got going on. We're still waiting on oil. Hopefully we can get it this week. Nice weekly close back up to the upside. Once you tap this level, by all means you can get sell stops on if you wanted to. But if you close bullish on the weekly, you're going to have to delete sell stops and wait and adjust accordingly basically. That's it guys, that's all I've got going on really. There'll be no trades for me today, unfortunately.
No worries.
Yeah, have you caught anything this morning, Andre?
Yeah, I'm still in some trades from yesterday.
Yeah.
And then trying out that other tool. So yeah, we'll see how it works.
Nice. I mean, I'll keep an eye on the nailer today as well. I'm still tracking that.
Yeah.
Had a nice win on that yesterday.
Yeah, it would be a good one.
Being lovely. Why is this on here like?
I think I'll log off and I'll come back again for the 4-hour close.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I probably
On the
won't
other
be
candle.
on. I'm probably, to be honest, I'm probably just going to call it a stream really, because there's just no point. There's now for me really. I can't see this happening for at least another 2-3 hours maybe. Maybe New York. For us to get that break to come down, you're looking at 1, 2, 3, maybe another 4 hours or something.
Yeah.
Like close below. Oh well, we'll be back on tomorrow. We'll catch something to, and this has happened before where I haven't had a trade all week, and then on the Friday, we grabbed like a trade, 200 pips, something like that.
Yeah.
And that's just trading for you. So yeah. So guys, if you're watching on YouTube, no trades this morning, no trades today for me. I need to wait for some daily closures. So I'll be back on tomorrow and Friday. So I'll love yous and leave yous. I'll catch yous later. I'll catch you later, Andre. Have a good day, mate.
Right, see ya.
See you, mate. Bye.
Bye.